All right, welcome back, everybody. We are COMP2068, and I got to fix this. It's the winter 2016 semester, and it's week 2, lesson 2, part 1. And we did some setup last week, and we did some stuff with, you should have set up your node. NPM should be set up properly on your machine. TypeScript, we did some TypeScript last week, yeah. We did a little bit of, we did some Bower. Bower should be working right now, and there's a bit of a fix for people who can't get Bower to work. We talked about that last week as well, right? So all your front-end tools are working, but now we need to deploy somewhere. And every time you do an assignment for me, you're going to deploy your stuff live, right? So how do we do that, and where do we do that, more importantly? We're going to use Azure. So Azure is Microsoft Azure. And what is cloud computing, and what is Microsoft Azure anyway? So imagine the old world where we had a situation where we had a bunch of infrastructure we'd have to build, right, for the company. Let's say I have a big company, it's a bank, and I might have a server room as an example, and inside the server room I have to build a raised floor, and I have to have several servers, maybe in a server farm. I've got to have a technician like Greg, who takes a look at the servers. That's all he does all the time. I've got to make sure there's power protection, so I've got redundancy. I might have to have a second nest of servers somewhere else. Lots of stuff, lots of capital, right? And for a bank, that might be okay, but even for a medium to large size business, it becomes a problem if you're hosting your website and your email server and everything else, inside one of these data centers. And the reason for that is it's capital. It's expensive from a capital perspective. So I'm spending all these capital dollars, right, to maintain and upgrade, and I also have to have a roadmap of how I'm going to upgrade my servers, down the line every 2 years, whatever. I got to upgrade, change stuff, maintenance, the whole thing. So from medium to large size, or even small to medium sized businesses, there's this kind of gap where we don't want to hire a guy, even part-time, to take care of the person's servers. And we still want to do things like hosting, where we host our own websites and control our own websites. So not only Microsoft, but Microsoft, Google, and Amazon, Amazon being the number one player in the space, sets up something called platform as a service. All right. So think about platform as a service as I've got my my infrastructure, but instead of spending capital dollars, I'm going to move into a subscription type service where I have operational dollars, right? So I'm moving from a capital expenditure to an operating expenditure kind of model, 2 different models, right? What this does is it gives me more cash flow, right? Because I'm able to use the money that I have that I would normally spend on capital stuff, like we're talking about servers and everything else, and I can move it into the business, into my operating side, right? So it's a kind of a flow from one to the other. So that's one of the reasons why we do a lot of platform as a service right now. And we use the cloud, right? Cloud services like Microsoft Azure, Google Platform, Amazon Web Services. Those are the 3 big ones that some companies are starting to use now in order for us to move from a CapEx model to an OpEx model, capital expenditure, operating expenses. So that's the reason why we're doing it. Number 1. Second thing is redundancy, right? I mean, Microsoft, Google, or Amazon, how often do they drop? Just saying, right? If there's a zombie apocalypse, and I like to joke around like that, right? Zombie apocalypse, it might. Maybe come nuclear war, maybe. And there could be something else that happens, like a mass, blackout across the United States that happened in 2003. Maybe then, right? But after that, I mean, really, the uptime for your data centers is like 99.99, at least like 3 or 4 5s, right? 4 9s, right? Kind of thing. It's not 5 9. You got to pay for 5 9 availability, like 99.99999 kind of thing. But it's pretty good. It's 99.99 availability out there for Microsoft, Google, and Amazon, even for people who are using it for free, like us. We're going to use it as students. So redundancy is the second reason why we use cloud services, right? And availability. We want to be able to make they're available in different data centers across the world, right? So that's the second reason why we want to use that, right? The other one for Microsoft for sure is ease of deployment. Like, holy crap, you're going to look at it and you're going to go, wow, it's like 2 clicks and you're up on the web. Like, really that easy, right? So there's lots of reasons why I would highly recommend moving to a cloud service for one of my clients nowadays, especially if they're small to medium-sized business. as opposed to some local provider, like even someone like a Rogers or a Bell, or even some other provider that's going to provide it to you. Why? There's no way another provider is going to be able to provide the same service, right, as Microsoft, Google, or Amazon, the same redundancy, the same reliability and availability, right, and ease of use. There's just no way. I never have to use an FTP program with a cloud service provider, right? Okay, here's the other thing, and we'll talk about why. There's some smaller players as well in the space. Digitalocean is one of those people, and they're very popular. They're very small. They're actually based out of Toronto, and but very popular. So let me bring that up. So here's DigitalOcean. And DigitalOcean, what you do is create droplets, and each droplet is a server, a virtual machine that you can create, and it's like $5 a month to have a virtual Linux box out in the cloud. Totally cool. And then you can configure that Linux box any way you like, right? So now we're talking about it's up in the cloud, and you've got a Linux deployment. It has nothing to do with you're not taking care of the hardware, right? Platform as a service. You're using their stuff. You're renting their server space and even their server, and you can configure it any way you like, right? Lots of draw for that, and fairly cheap, $5. Who can meet that? If I buy a server today, right? Even the cheapest one, it's going to cost me thousands of dollars, plus maintenance, plus all kinds of other stuff. Like I said, redundancy and power protection and blah blah, raised floor, whole room that's clean. A place that's not too hot, not too cold. So I got to regulate the room and all that kind of stuff. Similar to what you see here. So you like these little these servers that they're living here, switches like this, and these cabinets. All that stuff would have to be maintained. So we're talking about big expenditure if you had this in one of your little rooms inside your company, right? So instead of doing that, we have platform as a service. So DigitalOcean would be a second one. And the other one for you guys, which is out there that is relevant to our course, is Heroku, right? Those are kind of the three most popular ones we use for when we do mean stack development right now. There are many others, and you can certainly choose any one of them. For this course, you can choose any cloud service provider as a target for your for the stuff that you're going to be producing for me. All right, so it doesn't have to be Azure. You can choose Amazon. You can choose Google platform. You can choose Heroku. You can choose whoever you like. I'm going to recommend Azure only because as students and teachers, we get an academic discount. We get free services with Microsoft Azure through the DreamSpark.com, right? That whole thing. But we have to register, and that's why I've asked you to get your Hotmail or Outlook stuff ready to go. So everyone, I'm assuming that everyone has Microsoft account, yeah? Okay, next place to go. So the step 2, after you get your Microsoft account, go to DreamSpark. And again, I'll swim to the main DreamSpark account area here. There's 2 tools we need today. So this is one, and there's another one after this. Okay. So DreamSpark is where we want to go. We want to go to students, up on the top here, and we want to go to software catalog. All right. So if you're a student, you have access to all this stuff. On the left, if you look at servers and applications, so just down one and to the left, you hit Microsoft Azure. Right there it is. All right. So you sign in or create your DreamSpark account. That's the one thing you want to do. And then what you do is you register and make sure you put in your Microsoft email as your primary contact number, not your Georgian College email, right? Later on, when you verify what school you're coming from, you're going to put in your Georgian College email. Sometimes, especially for the new Georgian College emails, example, if it ends with a georgiancollege.ca, may not work because the old email was georgianc.on.ca, right? So you may have to put your email like this, your student number at student. I think it's georgianc.on.ca. And I think that still should be most of your emails. Some of you may not be able, that may not function for all of you. In which case, you need to send a support ticket off to DreamSpark. How do I do the support ticket? It's here. If you look at DreamSpark under students, there's a little link for support. You send them a little support request. And basically what you say is, here's my name, my email address, blah, blah, and here's my problem. Can you solve it for me? I'm still part of the school. And you may have to prove that you're part of the school. You may have to show them your transcript or something else, like kind of, send them some information or your student ID as an example. And when you send them your student ID or some proof that you're part of the school, they'll send you credentials. Okay, almost like a link to it. So this is what I want you to do. So take some time over the next few minutes to do this while I explain the next piece, something else you're going to have to sign up for. And again, like I said, make sure, and this is what I like to do too. Normally I'm in Chrome. When I sign up for Azure, after I sign up for Azure, and when I want to go to the Azure site, I go into incognito mode. Why? Sometimes it remembers that you're a Georgian account, and it'll try and log you in, because if you have a Georgian account that's linked to Outlook, it'll see, oh, Georgian, and it's not the right account, right? So it'll mess you up. So go into incognito mode when you're ready and do one of these. Go to portal.azure.com, and portal.azure.com will ask you to log in. And what's the email you're going to put here? Your Microsoft account, not your student account. You put your student account here, it won't work properly and you get frustrated. So please don't do that. So step 1, get an Outlook account or a Hotmail account. Step 2, go through DreamSpark and sign up as a student. Step 3, log after you get verified. There's a verification process, some verifications emails that are going to be sent to you. And a lot of times you have to have anyone not have a mobile phone. Somehow. Does someone not have one of these? I had one. I was telling you, most people have it, right? I would say 99% of people have it. There was a lady in my class today that didn't have it, right? So that would be bad. That means you couldn't sign up. If you don't have one of these, you can't get verification code, and you can't sign up for Outlook. So you'd have to borrow someone's phone or whatever in the future and associate it with your account, blah, blah, blah. That'd be a big pain in the ass. Please, hopefully you have one of these. You're going to get a verification code by text. When you get it, that's how you sign up for your Microsoft account. And you're going to do the same thing, verify again for your Outlook account. If you think you're doing it wrong and you have to verify a second time, you're not. Your second verification is for your Azure account. One's for your Outlook account or Microsoft account, and the other one's for your Microsoft Azure account, right? Another verification code. When you're verified, and it takes several steps, then you're going to go to this portal.azure.com, right? With your Microsoft account, your verified Microsoft account, the one that you verified and that you've associated with your email. So they're going to ask you 2 questions. What's your primary email that you want communications? That's your Microsoft account. Then the other one is verify your student account. That's the second question. And that's going to be your Georgian College email. All right? That's the second one. But you're going to use your Microsoft account to log into this when it's verified. That's the trick. Once you get by this, when you log in, I'll log in. There's my Microsoft account. And it's going to ask me to log into my account. So here's my password. And it's, for me, I have 2-step verification, right? So if it doesn't know who I am, it's going to ask me who I am. It's another step, but you know what? I use my Microsoft account for everything, all school related. So it's good second step protection that I like to use. Notice I'm not even clicking. I sign in frequently. I don't even do that anymore. And then you're going to get to this step right here. Okay? Please get to this step, portal.azure.com. If you get to this step after you've logged in successfully and verified your subscription, then we can do this. Okay? We can't do this until you do that. And when you verify your subscription, one of the subscription options is going to be DreamSpark. If you see just pay as you go and other things, but not DreamSpark, something's wrong. Don't continue. Don't use your credit card. If you're putting your credit card in, you did something wrong, right? I mean, you could do that. It's called subscription, pay as you go. If you really want to use your credit card, you can. But why if it's free, right? From a student, for students, for teachers. Okay, so please do that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pause the video right now because some of you, let me rephrase that. A lot of you are going to have issues because it's not. It sounds like a straightforward process, but unfortunately you're going to go, Tom, I want to punch my computer. I've verified myself 3 times and it's not working. I can't log in and la la la. Let me go over these steps again. Microsoft account. Verify yourself on DreamSpark, right? Once you're verified and you get a series of emails that back and forth to verify who you are, right? Number 3 is go into incognito mode, right? Not your regular Chrome browser. incognito mode and go to portal.azure.com and then log into Azure this way, right? If you don't do these steps, one of these steps for the first time, it won't work, and then you're going to be really frustrated. Okay, so please don't do that. So I'm going to pause the video here. I'm going to go around and make sure things are good, and then we'll continue from there.